Hi, Mega Moms. Jessica Hensley here with, I was going to say my brokerage name. Wow. No, with Real Estate Mega Moms. And I am the founder of Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help real estate moms create a life first, and a business that they love. So each week we go live and I interview a mom that I found to be a totally outstanding, a mega mom, if you will. And this is, we have today with us Rebecca Hamilton. So she's from Florida, and I found you, Rebecca, because you were on your stories and you were sharing how you had a 50K month. So 50K in GCI, ladies. So I want to hear all about it, and I know our moms do too. So take it away, Rebecca.
Okay. So thanks for, inviting me on here. That's amazing. I always like doing these kind of things because they're fun to like talk to other people and see what they're doing. So my 50K month. I have to give a little bit of credit, and this is not a promo for my company, although I think they're amazing. But part of the reason why is because I'm not, EXP didn't give me the business. I'm with EXP Realty. They didn't give me the business. I created that, but they did give me a platform to allow me to make more money than what I had been making at my previous brokerages. So
Sure.
I grew up in a traditional brokerage. If anybody's from around this area, they've heard of Watson. And I loved Watson for a lot of reasons. And at one point it was the best choice for me. But looking back, I did give away a lot of money that I feel like I could have kept once I knew what I knew. So I kind of, then I went to Keller Williams for a little bit, which I love Keller Williams. I have nothing but great things to say about them. And I landed at EXP, and there was a lot of reasons that made sense for me. But so when I came to this $50,000 a month, I had one deal left to cap. So one of those deals and everything else, but the money that I'm talking about is money in my pocket. I mean, the IRS is in my other pocket, but the money was, I said GCI, and then afterwards I went, do I even know what that means? Like, that is not my forte. I'm not sure. What are those acronyms? Real estate acronyms?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not, and I've been doing this 14 years.
I'm with Keller Williams, and I will say that company, they're the queen or the king of acronyms. Everything has an acronym.
That's where I heard GCI. Like, I don't think I had ever heard it before then.
Right.
I was like, I'm sure I'm using this wrong, but anyway, so yeah.
So what were those deals made up of? Was there one that was like a couple $1 million deal, or how many transactions?
That was a couple $500,000 deals. I don't have in front of me exactly what they were, but I love first-time home buyers, so I tend to work with a lot of 150 to 250 people. Our average median price here is just a little bit over 200, so maybe 225. Mm-hmm. I happened upon some nicer deals that kind of fell in my lap for, yes, I attracted him. I know that I did, but I won't deny that. I totally did.
That's awesome. Well, I'm kind of laughing because Rebecca shared with me that she's a big law of attraction believer. And so she might share a few tips or exactly what that is here in a minute. But anyway.
Yeah, no, totally. And, my whole life, and I've said this before, but I got my first set of cassette tapes when I was 19 from my mom. And, I had been in all different kind of situations. And up until that point, I really felt like life was just bumping me around. Like, I really didn't have a lot of control. So when I listened to those first tapes from Abraham Hicks, I was just like, holy cow, if this is true, then I've got to figure out how to do it. Like, that was my mindset. And I'm a very black and white person. So law of attraction just made sense to me. It was like, mm-hmm. Okay. And, I feel like the mainstream media has made it more about shiny things. And that's just not what it's about. And if you can get past that layer of it, you can really start sort of creating your life from the inside out. Because ultimately, we all want to be happy. Like, we can chase that thing, but as soon as you get to that thing, and you're still not happy, you're like, dang it, I thought that thing was going to make me happy. And it's like, no, it's so much more than that.
And it's not that bad things won't happen in your life either, right?
Right. I mean, bad things do happen. I personally, like, this is just me. You guys can believe what you want to believe. I believe that I'm creating all of it. So I'm not going to just take accountability for the good stuff and be like, but that bad thing happened and that totally happened to me. I don't feel like that. That's not, because if I think that, then I can't believe that I created the good things. Again,
Sure.
there's my black and white. I can't be both ways. So
Have you read Grant Cardone's 10X, I think is what it's called? Have you ever read it?
I have not read that, but I've
You
seen
need
that.
to read, well, actually, you need to listen to it. It's better
Yeah.
listening because he kind of talks. And I'm not saying, or he adds some stuff. I'm not saying I'm a huge Grant Cardone fan, but what you just said about how you create everything, right? You're even the bad things. He
Yeah.
talks about in that book where he takes responsibility for the bad things. Like he uses an example of my power went out. So that's out of my control, right? Wrong. I could have had a generator, is what he says. So
Right.
it's just really interesting to think about that.
Well,
So,
and having a generator is how you respond to it. So the power going out is still the power going out. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
like, I get that. And now it's like, there's so many people who are talking about law of attraction, but not using those words. That, yeah. And all of that stems back to Napoleon Hill, a book named Seth, and Abraham Hicks. Like, those are the main sources that have been around since the 80s. I'm 44 years old, so I've been listening to Abraham for 25 years, and that's my go-to, because everything else is just, they're basically just regurgitating those things.
Think and Grow Rich was like written in the 20s or the 30s or something like that.
Napoleon Hill. Yeah, absolutely. That was written a long time ago, and then just expanded on sort of as it came, because Seth was before that, and that was Jane Roberts. And she said, you know what, you can create your life. So all of that is just super exciting to me.
So
and
give us some examples of how you make this happen. Like, what are some rituals you go through?
That's like a whole, this is like a whole class right there. But there's all sorts of different things that you can do to kind of make things happen. I know that when I was, my son Zay was pretty small, and I wanted a certain job. And I wasn't sure exactly where the job was, but I knew kind of what it looked like, and I knew how it felt, and I knew like how it, like I could just envision it perfectly. And the way that I do it, one of the things that I do is I write like crazy. Like, I am a crazy. I love to write. I think that it's one of the most powerful ways that you can sort of talk to the universe or God or whoever, wherever you want to call it. So I do a ton of writing. I create total, like, entire scenes of things in my head, to the point where, until I start feeling resistance, then I pull back. But I've done it in so many different ways, and with so many different situations. It's like the list goes on. And the 50K is just like, I wasn't trying to make 50K. I was just in that space where that could easily flow into my life.
Oh, okay. So is that an affirmation you say about money?
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like affirmations, I like affirmations. And I mean, I hear people talk about them, and I feel like if you can connect with it. So the other day, my son and I were together, and he had made a joke about one of his perceived shortcomings. And I was like, what? And he was like, oh, I'm just kidding. And then a little bit later, we came back around to the subject, and he said, do you think me saying that like holds me there? And I said, well, I think it depends on, does it connect? Like, do you feel it? And he was like, sometimes I do. And I'm like, okay, well then if you do, yeah, you're creating. So to bring that around to affirmations, I think it's the same exact thing. Like, if you feel, to just say, I feel pretty, like, or I have money, but underneath you're like, I'm broke. Like, you're not creating anything. You're actually just having a bigger spotlight on what you're not feeling good about. So anything that you can say that can amp up the good feelings, then yeah, but it has to connect. Because if it doesn't connect, an affirmation is no good. Like,
well,
that's what I feel.
So I'm taking Bold right now. And so if you're Keller Williams, or if you were at Keller Williams, you know what that is.
Yeah.
And they have you create an affirmation. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to do a crazy one. And mine is, my team enjoys helping 350 families each year. And I
Uh-huh.
have a small team. We have 10 people, and we've historically done about 200 to 250.
Uh-huh.
And so 350 would be a big stretch. But the more I've been saying it, the more I'm like, it's going to happen. I believe it, and this is the action plans we have to make that happen. We're going to have 30 closings in January. What do we need to do to have 30 closings or, actual transactions in January? So anyway, I just wanted to say that because I didn't believe it at first, but I said it so many times that I finally did connect, and I feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that sometimes if you're not totally, out of range of it, but I think when they're most powerful is when you believe it, like regardless of what it is, if it, and taking those small energetic steps are a lot better than quantum leaps anyway, because it's hard to sustain that energy when it's this huge, you know what I'm saying? Like, and for some people, there would be resistance to the 350, for instance, you know what I'm saying? Like, because underneath that 350, there's a why, and there's a feeling, and there's a, what is that? And that's where like, there's lots of different ways to create, don't get me wrong, but if you can get to that feeling first, then let the universe fill in all of the things on the way to what you want. It's just a lot easier ride than the resistance that can happen when you start making things like that kind of pull you back.
I love that. That's really good. This is turning into a coaching session.
I know. I'm here for you, girl.
I love it. Well, maybe you can share what your setup looks like with your 50K month. I mean, do you have a team? Do you have a transaction coordinator? What does your business look like?
Yeah, I have a transaction coordinator, and I have a part-time admin. So she's very part-time. I don't have a lot of people. I do everything myself. My son is not here. So even though I am a mom, I'm able to focus in a lot better way, or a lot stronger way. And because it's funny, because when I started kind of ramping up, my son was like, when he was here over the summer, he's like, I would have hated this. And I'm like, I know. He's like, now it's fine, but
let's talk about that for a minute, because you shared with me that you made the decision to homeschool your son. And you were a real estate agent at the same time. So how did you balance that? What did you just do enough to pay the bills and to live comfortably, and then just said no? Or how did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I was really super clear, and I will give, that the whole stuff I've been talking about a lot of credit for all of that. I was really clear when I had my son, like, homeschooling was something that we always thought would be amazing, not from a religious standpoint at all, but from a freedom standpoint. I just wanted to raise a different type of human being, not one that was pushed through the systems and jumping through the hoops. So, and then that's not to, downplay. There's a lot of kids that would thrive in schools. I just really wanted to do something different. So when I ended up being in a situation, I was offered a small severance package, and I thought, okay, my mom was like, hey, you want to do real estate? And I was like, sure, let's do it. So we ended up getting into real estate, and my son was in first grade. And I said, well, after I write $1 million, I'm going to take him out if that's, if we all decide. And we did. So the way it worked was interesting, because my belief is what sustained me. Like, I believed that I was going to do that. Everybody's like, you can't do that. You can't do real estate on your own and you don't have another income. Like, you can't homeschool, because what if it doesn't work out? Then you're going to have to put it back in school, and it's going to be back and forth. And, there was all these different things that people said, but I did between probably 2 and 5 million a year. And yeah, I referred stuff out. I ended up selling REOs that kind of fell in my lap, because I was there when the market went down.
Right.
So selling REOs just kind of fell in my lap.
Which is beautiful, because with the REOs, there's a lot of paperwork, which that's the part I hate. Yeah. But it can be on your own schedule,
It can be. And I was doing VA REOs. So even though I would hold like 30 or 40 listings, you have to do your trash outs, you have to do your cash for keys, you have to do some things on schedule, but it's different. And he could come with me to stuff and he could learn and figure things out too. So it was like a multi thing. And then after that, I did BPOs for a while, but I also did real estate. So it just kind of worked out. It was just like when I want to generate, I just know how to do that. And, when he left to go off to college, I was like, I want to ramp up my business. So I ended up getting my energy in line and did a video that ended up getting almost 40,000 views. And I've written, probably 4 million, 5 million off of it. And everybody's like, what was in the video? It's like, dude, it was not the video. Like, just let me explain to you. It was not, everybody makes videos. It is not the video. It is your intention that is behind it. And I mean, I just have story after story of where that's panned out for me. So
where can we watch this video?
Jack Slims and Lifestyle is where I pushed it as where I put it out. What I did was I actually put it into different groups, and I never paid 1 penny, like $0 to push it. And it was, what really got it going is somebody got on there and was like, I can't believe that you would get on here without having professional hair and makeup done. How dare you? You look, and starts going off on me. And like, no, seriously. And then I had like 5 people come and defend me in like 2 seconds. And it was, that's what started. And one of those ladies, I ended up dealing with her mom and selling her a house. And it just like snowballed.
Well, and I am a Christian, and that reminds me of what that person meant for evil, right?
Yeah.
God meant for good. And even something negative can actually be the universe bringing something good into your life.
Yeah. You have to release a little bit of judgment and be okay with, I don't know. Like, I don't know why that lady got on there. I don't know where she was coming from, but she helped me out. Thank you, lady.
Exactly. Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. So would you say that Facebook is a big part of lead generating for you?
It is. It's a big part of it. I get a lot of referrals now too. My videos, I get a lot of business that way. I did a video. Some people who are on here probably have seen, I remade Drake's God's Plan for my company and did Glenn's plan, which Glenn is the founder of EXP. So I did a whole rap video for that.
Oh, wow.
My son actually shot the video. It was super fun. But that ended up generating me some of my $50,000 a month because people in my company were like, wow, they didn't know me. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow, you're in Jacksonville. Okay, cool. Let me give you some business. So
you got some referrals from it.
Yeah, I got referrals from it. And that was just, I want to say like everything that I do, and I've gotten a lot better at it over the years, is just following inspiration. Mm-hmm. It's like so many times we logically talk ourselves out of it instead of just following it and letting it pan out. And that was just inspiration. I was just having so much fun. Like I thought it was hysterical. It came to me really easily. And so I just, rolled with it.
And I think that, a key point, ladies, that you guys can take from this is she puts herself out there. I think that is it. You're to be successful in real estate, you have to be willing to be exposed, and be vulnerable.
I mean, there's a lot of people who probably were like, oh my gosh, like when I posted about, finally posted about my husband being in prison and going to prison when our son was 1 year old. I mean, like, I'm sure people were like, oh my gosh, what is it? I had people actually say to me, one person literally said, what is this going to do to your business? And I thought, well, I want my people. Like, and if you don't want to work with me because of that, then you're not my people. And I'm cool with that. And I'm not mad at you. I mean, but I've got to be real about who I am. And I find that when you're real, it connects you. Like those scars are what connect us. Those things that have happened, that's what makes you feel more real to people. You know what I mean? And that's when people are like, okay.
Because that whole perfection facade is fake, right? The more we try to project it, the more people realize this person's not for real. They're fake.
Yeah, well, you can't feel it. Like you want people to be able to feel you, and you have to be like you have to know yourself and love yourself enough, because once you do, like before that, when you're in perfection stage, you want other people to love you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in when you're like feeling yourself, like you're like, I'm a shit, like I got this. People can feel you, like they love you because you love yourself almost. So if you can get that down, and that's really like so much of law of attraction is not about attracting. The first manifestation that you get is a feeling, and that is the thing that you're going for. People just get very confused that it's the car or the house or the boyfriend or the whatever, and it's like those things are great, they're side effects.
Right.
They're not the prize, like at least not in my mind.
Well, something else that stands out to me as you're sharing is you're so secure in what you want and what you need that when people try to project their limiting beliefs on you, you're just like, nope, that's not
Yeah.
for me.
Well, it's this whole idea that you can believe what you want to believe. Like, I'm not mad at you, and I don't need you to believe what so many people need you to believe what they believe so that they feel better. Yeah. And it's like, I don't need you. Like, I've thoroughly vetted what I believe over the years because the rubber has hit the road a lot of times in my life. Mm-hmm. And I've had to get really sure about who I am. I mean, my husband is Black. We were in the South, interracial relationships. I mean, I had to vet that. I had to vet being a single mom. I had to vet real estate. Like, I had to vet so many places, and we all have, but like when you're looking for outside validation, it's just disempowering in the end. Like, you have to find it yourself. And when you're good with yourself, you don't care. Like, you can believe that interracial relationships are bad if you want to, and I don't care. Like, I can still be okay with you. Like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't affect me. That doesn't affect me.
Yeah, I don't need you to like it. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love this. This is so good. This is good stuff.
Oh, thanks.
Wow. I mean, I think if we really think about it, the deepness of this. I recently took this test for my coach asked me to take it, and it's the Enneagram. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Enneagram. It's like typology anyway. I mean, you take this test, but it's a lot of that. And I discovered something about myself. I'm an achiever or a performer, and that's one of those things. Is my natural personality, my natural tendency is to care what other people think and to want to project success and want everyone to see success. Mm-hmm. But what you just said really resonates with me about what you think doesn't really affect me,
Yeah. Well, that's real power, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you've really like, when you can figure that out, then the world doesn't keep knocking you around. And that's what happens so much is people just get so caught up in things. And it's like, and that's why there's just, look at the world in general, why people are fighting. It's because they want you to agree with them. Like, and you don't have to, or you could just be like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about that.
There you go. Well, now you have a webinar or something like that you have coming up.
Right? I do. I have a couple things coming up. I'm super excited. I have so much good things going on right now. Like, the timing is finally right. I have been gonna write a book forever. I finally am writing a book called LOA Junkie. I'm gonna
What?
Yeah, it's called LOA Junkie, Real Stories from an Energy Hustler. And that's coming out. I'm going to announce actually on my page. I have an LOA Junkie page that people can find me at. But I have that. I'm going to have a course that's coming out. All of that will be on my page. But I have some free stuff that I'm doing because I'm so passionate. None of it is upsell. I don't upsell in anything free. I know it's probably strategy-wise the wrong thing to do, but I just genuinely love the idea of people getting it and figuring themselves out. So I have a couple free webinars that I'm doing. One is just the basics of LOA, like what is it not, clearing up misconceptions type of stuff. That's actually tomorrow night. But then next week, I'm going to do a virtual vision board course where if I could walk over and show you, I would, but I did this amazing vision board and then I got it printed and it was all really cheap and reasonable. And now I can look at it every day, but it's also online. So I want to show people. I
didn't ask you this before, but would you be a guest expert in my inner circle, maybe in November, with the vision board?
Absolutely.
We would love that. We would love that. But ladies, if you guys want to attend any of these courses or classes, free webinars, just comment LOA below and we will send you a link so you guys can get notified, or we'll give you the link so you can sign up for that because it's totally free. And I think
it is free.
It's going to be hugely empowering for you guys, for you ladies to go through.
I think it's something you can really use. And I think it's one of the main reasons. And just really quickly, and I know we're kind of running out of time, but you know, when I made that video, it was like, I was inspired to do it. I did it in 2 takes. I didn't think about it. I really just wanted to help people. I had the idea of how I wanted to feel, not necessarily an outcome for that video specifically, but I knew kind of, you know, I always set my intentions, but when I looked back at it, like I didn't go and do a bunch of research. I didn't go and be like, what should I say? How should I say it? What order? Any of that. And when I was showing one of my friends after the fact, when it was really successful, she was like, oh, you did this. You're supposed to quote this many facts and you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that. And she was like, oh, like all this stuff. And I was like, you know, what's crazy is that like, I didn't set out to do that. I just let the inspiration take me. And then you look back and we think we need all these things that we don't need. Like you just need yourself and you can get exactly where you want to go.
I love that. Don't make it so complicated.
Right. It's simple. Just freaking believe and you'll be good.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah. Let people see it. You know, like Bob Marley has that saying that true happiness or true connection or something, you can only get it through vulnerability. And that's something I've had to like work on in my life, is just be like, you know what, this is me. If you want to throw a stone, then whatever, but I'm going to still be me.
I love it. Well, I'm so glad that we had you on today. I really enjoyed this conversation and getting to know you better. And I don't think I can make tomorrow's, but I will definitely be on the vision board one.
Yeah, totally. Come check it out. I'm off the cuff, dude. I'm just gonna get on there and show y'all what I do and hope you like it.
Love it. Well, ladies, comment LOA below and we'll send you both links, both to the LOA class and then to the vision board class with Rebecca. So, all right. And we'll also put a link to her business page because she's in Jacksonville, Florida. If you have any referrals for her, she would love to have another 50K month.
Yes, because I do real estate too, by the way.
All right. Bye, Mega Moms.
Bye.